But yeah, I'm ready to rock whenever you are.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I look? How do I sound?
You
Good?
look fucking, you look sexy, Rob.
Oh,
You look pretty good, dude. You're
that's what I
looking,
was looking for.
yeah, you're looking pretty good. But yeah, okay. So a lot of people don't know this, but me and Rob have been talking about doing this for what, a year now?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least a year now.
It
And
seems like forever.
between moving the new job and then you got the new house, it just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm guessing Justin keeps you pretty busy.
Yeah. I'm a pretty busy guy.
Yeah. So what are you doing there? You're taking care of like yearlings or something. You told me before, and I actually forget what you're even doing there.
So my job title is juvenile manager,
Oh,
which
okay.
is fitting, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as they come out of the egg, all the way up to if it's a holdback,
Mhm.
I'll take care of it until it's about 600 grams. If it's not a holdback, then I'll take care of it until it sells or hits the 600.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah, and
right.
that's everything. That's um, yeah. One of the things that I've noticed is that we use that cocoa Repti chip
Yeah.
is an awesome product, by the way. I love it. But sometimes the humidity gets too much in those tubs,
Yeah.
and their faces will actually swell up just a little bit. So I take care of that. Or if they have any kind of issues, whatever it is, I take care of it.
Well, they're not destroying their faces though, like a retic.
Oh my gosh,
You know what
nothing.
I mean? It's like you get a little bit too much humidity in a retic tub, and they got that
Oh,
duck face. You know how?
push, push, push.
Yeah, yeah. They just destroy themselves so quickly.
They'll
It's
get
it,
that little spot on the head. Yeah.
dude. I recently moved up a holdback turn 8,
Oh,
and I put her in this big tub, this big water dish, and she messed up her head. I'm like, and she just put her head under that big water dish and just pushed it around. It's like, what are you doing? Like you have like 4 times the amount of room now, 4 times the size of a water bowl. I was like being nice, giving her a big tub, and she's just like, no, I'm just gonna mess my head up.
yeah.
It's
Put me
ridiculous.
back in the small one.
Dude, sometimes, Sean was just telling me he'd moved a purple snow or something up to a 6 footer. Dude, she immediately messed her face up and freaked out. He had to put her back into a smaller cage to get her to chill out.
No kidding.
Yeah, yeah, he's
I,
dealing with that right now.
I don't know if you get it a lot, but I get that question a lot. Like, my retic's pushing. What do I do? And it's just, how do you answer that? I guess is the question.
Well, dude, that's the hard part though, because is it pushing because it's too hot? Is it pushing because it's hungry? Is it pushing because it wants a bigger enclosure? Or is it pushing because you put it in a bigger enclosure and it wants to go back in a small enclosure? You know what I mean? It's like,
So many variables.
yeah, yeah. It's like, well, what there's a bunch of reasons that snake could be pushing, and it's like when people send me a picture of snake. Hey, what is this? What's all in this? I'm like, okay. Yeah, they just yeah
What
they
did you
just
breed?
yeah yeah, be like, well, what percentage of each locality do you think's in this snake? It's like, I have no idea.
That's a great one.
you know I get that a lot, and I'm not shitting on the people that ask me, because they're genuinely looking for some help.
Oh yeah,
But it's not like they don't hit me with like the list of data first of like, here was the breeding, here who's produced it. It's just like,
yeah.
what's all in this? It's like, I don't. How the hell should I know? It's like,
It looked like a tiger.
yeah, it's like I can at least guess a little bit. I can probably guess which island group it might have some blood from, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You
And then
know.
if there's golden child in it, forget it.
Yeah, yeah,
Game
yeah.
over.
Yeah, if it's something like a golden child, man, you can't. It's really tough to
I think I
identify.
can get tiger. I think I can see tiger in GC.
Yeah, yeah. As long as there's
That's
not, well, unless there's 4 other genes, then you ain't even seeing that.
yeah, right.
You ain't even
Hopefully,
see. You
like
ain't even
front
seeing the
bladder.
tiger. Yeah, dude. That was. Oh man. Yeah. That's a big one. Yeah. How do you get them to quit pushing, and what all percentages of the locality is in this snake that I gave you no information on?
Yeah.
Those are always fun. But yeah, so might as well get into some quick questions here, and then we'll get back into talking about dumb shit.
No,
Um, so what how much of a transition has this been for you to go from like reach out reptiles, retics to dealing with pet rocks? So
oh, well, I'm just gonna pretend like I heard ball pythons, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
it has to be night and day.
oh, it's so different. You know, you know retics, and
Yeah,
I would assume the vast majority of the people watching this knows retics. And I've always been under the impression like a ball python, man, they're finicky eaters. You really got to mess with them. You really got to do
yeah.
this and do that. I'm not seeing that, man. I mean, maybe after that 600 grams, they go completely the other way, which maybe, but I'll tell you, those things eat like crazy. I mean, absolute crazy. As long as you have everything the way it's supposed to be, just like anything else, right? Your humidity's off, you're gonna have problems. Your temps off, you're gonna have problems. But as long as you have everything the way it's supposed to, and I believe we go about somewhere around 5 to 7 days after they shed, after they come out of the egg.
Oh,
And I tell you,
really?
and oh yeah, and they are just lighting it up. They, some of it we try to feed them at night too, try to increase our chances of success
Mm.
rate. And
Yeah, I don't even try to feed retics until about 2 weeks after their first shed. A lot of that's a long time for most people, but it's like if they absorb all that yolk, they ain't hungry, and you're just
not
scaring them with the food, and
creating bad habits.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think a lot of people, not to shit on ball python breeders, but I think a lot of people they're producing so many that to take that time to really work with them to get a solid eater, and it's maybe a little, especially if they're trying frozen thawed out the gate.
Oh, frozen
Yeah,
blood. Good
yeah,
luck.
yeah.
Good
I,
luck.
I bought back a ternate. This was like a year or two ago,
All
and I
right.
had to take a few other snakes to get it back. And came with a pair of ball pythons, and Andrew dropped them off. I tossed them in a tub. I actually kind of forgot about them for a day or two, and I went down there and opened the tub, and they were breeding.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so I ended up getting a clutch of ball pythons by accident, and surprisingly, they took frozen thawed. Yep, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a spider to something, and none of
Spider,
them had,
spider.
yeah, none of them had any wobble, and they all ate frozen thawed right off the gate. I was like, man, I must be really good at this.
Yeah, you're a thick whisperer and didn't even know it, man.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really good at this. But yeah, so I mean, it had to have been drastically different to go from
Oh,
retics to
I'll tell you a couple of the things. One, the feeding. Blows my mind how well these ball pythons eat. And I thought for sure going into this, like, oh man, I hope they all eat. You know,
yeah.
but phenomenal. We did a feed. I want to say we did a feed yesterday, which would have been Monday, and I fed 150 ball pythons.
Hmm.
And I think six of them didn't eat. Like
Really?
that's insane numbers, man. I don't know the percentage on that, but that's got to be 4.5, 5%. Like
Yeah.
unbelievable, right? So there's the feeding aspect, and then there's when I worked at Reach Out Reptiles. I used hooks. I don't want people to think I didn't use hooks, and I did the proper procedures. But I would average about 30 bites a week,
Yeah.
almost every single week. Some more, some less. I been at Canova now for a little over a year. I may have gotten 10 bites.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it
Wow.
just doesn't happen, man.
Wow. That's yeah. Yeah. I
And I'm not
usually
using a hook.
yeah. You usually get bit with retics, especially if you're working with hashlings. It's usually pretty common. I tell you what, like it's real. It's like real memorable anytime that I've had a clutch of halmas and I've made it through a rack of halmas and didn't get bit. It's only ever happened like 3 times. And
Whole
like,
rack of Haumas?
yeah, 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 like a whole rack. It's like, well, that was impressive. Like, but yeah, that's only. But even with them, man, I started using like a little hook. It's like, cause I was going through so many gloves, just, but. 30 animals in and you're just so bloody. It's like, you know,
What do you do, right?
yeah, yeah. So I actually started hooking babies just to not get bit so much, you know.
That's the crazy thing, like you know this. I mean, I don't even remember. Maybe how long have we known each other?
I don't know.
I I like to assume that it's been at least 20 years.
It's got to be close to 20 years because I've been friends with Brad for
Oh shit.
34.
Okay, I think
I
I'm hitting
it's
33 this year.
Yeah, so I've been friends with, and I probably met you probably about 10 years, 10 to 12 years after I met Brad.
I'd say that's about right.
Yeah.
Now I don't remember why I brought that up, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you were going with that. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
I'm
help you.
47 now, man.
Yeah, I can't help you there, Rob. I have no idea where that one was going. But no, I mean it has to be close. If it's not 20 years, it's got to be close to 20 years.
I would say, without trying to exaggerate or trying to deceive people,
It's at least 15.
definitely 15. Definitely 15. How long ago was it that you got Lyme's disease?
That was 9. And you knew
9.
me well before. Yeah, that was 2000. Well, I started getting sick in 2015 and then 2016. 2015 was end of 2015 was when it was really starting to hit me. Then beginning of 2016 is when it was real fun.
It got interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When it got interesting. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now,
now,
I don't think a lot of people know that we've been friends that long and that we've known each other and have talked.
oh
Because
yeah, long time.
when I bring up your name, everybody's just like, "Oh, that asshole," and I'm like, "Well, he is
well,
a good friend of mine."
well, when did it had to have been like 10 years ago that you got that 87.5% SD POS double het snow from me. That had to have been 2013, 2014.
You'd probably know better because you produced her.
Yeah, that had to have been because I mean that was when I was still messing with super dwarfs pretty, I was just starting to transition out of it. So that had to have been 2013-ish. And that snake was way ahead of its time. If I would have stuck it out with that fucking project, oh man.
And if I wouldn't have killed her, it would have been
Yeah, I
awesome.
know. Yeah, if everything would have been completely different, it'd have been amazing.
Yeah. You know how close we were to being awesome?
Yeah. Yeah, because she was definitely going to prove out for at least one. And that
Oh,
ended up being a really small clutch. Like only like 2 or 3 made it.
yeah.
And I forget what I did with the other ones. I forget what the hell even happened. I just remembered you got that one female. And I mean, that was like, and I mean, like now to say an 87.5% SD POS double heads. Now, that's not really a big deal, but in 2013, that was a little bit more of a big deal.
Major. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it
Nope.
wasn't because nobody cared. But nobody,
I
yeah, nobody gave a shit.
Yeah. Does it
Yeah,
still mean that much if nobody gives a shit?
yeah, yeah. But everyone's like, so it's a normal?
Like,
Yeah,
what's a super dwarf?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a question people were still asking a lot back then.
Oh, yeah. 2013. Yeah.
Yeah,
It hadn't peaked yet, if you will.
no, no, yeah, that snake was about 5 or 6 years ahead of schedule.
Oh, at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, but yeah, I think about that snake a lot because it's like if you would have got some visuals out of that, I'd been like, man, like because the only person even coming close to that right now is Eric Lee, and you could have been where he's at now. 2016, yeah, 2016, 2017. That would have been a big deal.
Oh,
One of the last Superdorf breedings I ever did was actually a Turn 8 Superdorf cross, and that was 2016. So that was 8 years ago.
no kidding.
And yeah, and she was a wild caught Kalatoa, and I forget which Turn 8. I either bred the male that you used to have, or I bred male 5. I can't remember which one it was. But she ovulated, went to her prelay, and died.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like out of nowhere. Like I was like,
Oh.
I got Turn 8 Kalatoa crosses coming. Nope.
Just when you think you got it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, she was a big, healthy wild caught, and she Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened there.
Well, that female I got off of you, I bred that to an OGS,
Oh, okay.
and she ovulated, was totally fine, and then got egg bound.
Uh,
And I wasn't able to save her or any of the eggs.
that
Back then
sucks.
it was just that was a death sentence, right?
Well, that one line of mine, I think you have that one real old line. I got those that super dwarfs, like the pure Calatoas, or you got the
Oh, okay.
cross or whatever. I forget what the hell it is. Um, it took me 4 or 5 years to get that pair to breed, and because I have pictures of them breeding in like 2007 or something like that.
Oh
And
man.
I never got a good clutch until like 2011 or 2012, and she ended up getting egg bound with a few eggs and died. But like she laid like 12 or something, but then had like five more that ended up getting stuck in her. And yeah, and that was after like 4 or 5 years of breeding that exact same pair, and it's like she would reabsorb every year and just yeah, it sucked.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Dude, I
Heartbreaking.
tell you what, man, the super dwarfs are not for people that can't handle bad news. Pure super dwarfs, man, like that wild caught shit, that wild
Oh,
caught stuff, they will even like an F1 or sometimes an F2, like they will ruin your day sometimes.
oh, they'll ruin your
Yeah.
week, your month, your
Yeah. Or
year.
your entire breeding plan.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
like that girl that I bought off you, like I just
Yeah.
said, I grew her up for 5 years,
Yeah.
finally breed her. And it's like you got all this time and energy and money and whatnot. And, you know, what do you do?
Yeah. And the jury's still out, man. Like we come up with ideas on why they get that egg bound, but I just think I have no idea what that is. I have no
It's
idea
a
what
lot of
that is.
things, honestly.
What's
I,
that?
I think it's a lot of things. I think that
Yeah.
humidity plays a part. I think, hydration plays a part. I think age plays a part. I mean, there's just so much. It's hard to say that that snake died because of this,
Yeah, because
right?
of X, yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you this though, I had never saved a snake from being egg bound until I started at Reach Out, and I came up with this weird idea of giving them fish oil pills. And I don't know if that just like coats the inside. I'm not a doctor. I'm not
Yeah.
anything, but I would just give them as many fish oil pills as possible. And there was a Madu that I had bred at Reach Out Reptiles that got egg bound, and I just hit her with as much fish oil pills as I could. And
Hmm.
she was able to spit them all out. It took about a year. She was able to spit them all out and was totally okay.
See, I've had two F1 ternates not necessarily get egg bound, but just like give up while laying. Like I interrupted them or something.
Oh yeah,
And I've had two of them do this, and I just fed the shit out of them until I pushed all the eggs out. And it took about a year, like every month or two, like an egg would come out. And I actually had my favorite F1 downstairs. She had one egg left in her from last season, and she just pushed it out.
isn't that
Yeah.
such a good feeling?
Well, she, I fed her so much, she's like 2 or 3 feet bigger. Then she was growing so much because I was hitting her so hard. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to push these eggs out. I've given her so much food. It was just this one last egg, and it was up, and then it was down at the vent, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna get that out. And I one more oversized rabbit for her, and it came out.
Oh,
Yep, yep. I was down there one day, and she was trying to push it out. Yeah. So well,
yeah,
she's building follicles and stuff, so I think maybe like her body was like, "You need to get this out. Like it's time to go."
yeah. It knew what to do.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I just whether me feeding it did anything, whether your fish oil did anything, I don't know. Well, I'll take a win. I'll pretend like I solved the problem. I don't give a shit.
Same here, man.
Yeah,
It's a win-win, brother.
yeah. As long as you're getting that result, I don't think it. Yeah, we'll just chalk it up to we're really smart.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, or
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're geniuses.
So next question, Rob.
Oh
What
yeah.
made you want to get back into breeding retics again?
Oh my gosh. The quick answer is it's in me. It's in my DNA, man.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever tried to not have a retic?
I got my first retic at 19 and I sold her, and then I got back into retics in 20 when I was 22,
Yeah.
and then it's like I just, you know,
It's
you
like
know,
a party, right?
yeah, I just never been able to, you know, I'm usually trying to downsize them, I'm like, and it's just never, it's really hard to get away from it.
Oh,
Like all the, I wouldn't say downsize, but all that extra work that comes with them. But I don't know, man. It just seems like there's a lot more. There's such an interactive snake.
oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, like I have Peruvian red tails. I really like them, but they're not like a retic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just such a different animal. Once you get used to, I think once you get used to working with something with that kind of behavior, it's like that's why I thought like it's culture shock for you to go from retics all day every day to ball pythons all day every day.
It's amazingly easier.
Yeah, yeah, I imagine.
But
Mm,
now that I got mine here,
yeah,
I couldn't be happier, man. Like that's just it's me.
yeah,
It's in me. Uh, you know, I'm the kind of guy that every time I get a pet, I want to breed it. I want to make
yeah,
more. And that year without the retics, all I could think about. I'd come home from work and I'd be like, "Oh man,
mm,
I'd like to go hold one of the snakes."
yeah,
Or breeding season comes along and everybody's talking about all their clutches and stuff, and I'm like, so this is what that feels like.
yeah, yeah. Maybe that's what those people trying to get into it are seeing online. Like, man, I'd like to experience this, and yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's a lot of work though, like you alluded to earlier. I mean,
yeah,
it's not one of those snakes where you just say, "Oh, okay, well, I'll clean it once a week, I'll feed it once a week, and everything's fine."
yeah.
Nah.
Like outside of carpet pythons and a couple other things, like we do have a luxury with working with different localities.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and it's not like, you know, another snake that is so similar to its relative, like where you see so much variation in the retics, and it's like it just gives you so much room to come up with ideas and to try new things, and
And that's the thing. Like, if you look at that, for anybody who's getting into the retics or wants to get into it, you go and you look at the localities and you look at the morphs and
Mhm.
recessive codon, whatever. You look at the big picture of retics, and if that doesn't get you excited, go get something else.
Yeah.
Because just thinking about that stuff, man, I just can't stop. Uh, the future is so bright.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess that's actually the next question that I got here. And I see I got the retic industry seems to be in kind of a bad place right now, and you seem pretty optimistic about it. So, why do you think the retic industry is actually heading in a good direction, and not quite as bad of a situation as some people might think? And well, the caveat to that is a lot of these people have only been in it for 5 years and they got in during the Trump years, so it's like you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But like personally, I'm more on board with you. Is I'm a lot more optimistic than kind of what I'm like the energy I'm seeing on Facebook and stuff.
So I usually, you know me, so
Yeah,
this is not new to you, but I usually kind of stay out of that stuff.
yeah,
I use Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I do that stuff, but uh, I don't post a lot. I try not to get into that. I'm trying to think of the best politically way to say it. I can't think of it. Bullshit. I try not to get into that.
that's what I try to stay out of too. So,
Yeah, and it's real easy. It's real easy for it to suck you in, though,
oh
man.
yeah, it's right. I got sucked in
You know,
yesterday, and I was like, "What
did
am
you
I doing? Like, what am I doing?"
right?
It's somebody said, and it was just kind of a dig at me. Somebody, said, what did they say? They said it was someone was talking about ocelots and whether or not they've been downsized yet. And somebody made the comment because I said, "Hey, there's going to be ternate head ocelots coming," and somebody said that they're like, "I don't think ternate ocelots will be anything to write home about, in my opinion." And I'm like, "Listen, if you don't like me, that's fine. But this is somebody asking a question about like localities and downsizing them. I'm like, don't give them bad information just because you don't like me." And they're like, well, that's just my opinion. I'm like, well, then you're either really dumb or you really don't like me. It's one or the other. Because you can't possibly think that Ternate isn't going to like make the best ocelot ever.
Yeah,
And then like and I'm fucking arguing like an idiot. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, it's like go clean some cages.
yeah, yeah. Get out of that.
Yeah.
Leave that for the noobs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I look at it. So that's how I can stay positive. I believe that was your question about
Yeah.
the market and whatnot. And just like excuse me, I've been in it long enough, and by in it I mean either keeping or breeding
Yeah.
for over 30 years, just like yourself. And it's a roller coaster, man. There's ups, there's downs, there's highs, there's lows, there's mediums, there's good times, there's bad times, the whole thing, right? The whole gambit. And if you focus on what's happening right now, you're going to miss the bigger picture, in
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion. And the bigger picture is that we get to do what we love, and the market will be there or it won't be there. But I can't predict that future. I know I've seen it go up and down, so I'm aware of the fact that it does it. So all I try to do is just stay in my head and to
Yeah.
do what I want to do and show the community, world, whatever, this is what I'm capable of. And I think when people see that and they understand that, it's hard not to say, "Oh yeah, this looks good."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that up and down shit, I think that's what the newer people are really struggling with because we're in a down. We're right now. We ain't at the top of the wave right now. That's for sure.
No, some of
And
us can't even see the wave.
yeah, 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 we're just feeling like we're getting
It's the
washed over.
what
But
do they call that before a tsunami? The suck.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of people are kind of freaked out by that. And I think that was actually the next question I wanted to hit you with because I want to get your opinion on this. Hey, let me switch out my battery on my camera real quick. It'll only take a second.
Yeah,
It,
sure.
it's blinking. Yeah, this should be okay. I'm back.
There you are.
Yeah, I can edit all that bullshit out.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I guess this is a good segue into the next question on what you think about this is a little bit of my opinion and then what I'm seeing online and then I kind of want to get your advice for it. It's
Yeah.
I'm kind of seeing I kind of think retics might have got a little overhyped for a minute there. And some of these people that invested pretty heavily at some higher prices kind of seem a little maybe this wasn't a good investment. Maybe I jumped in a little too soon. But for those people that are kind of apprehensive about moving forward, especially with their investments, like what's your advice for them that are kind of feeling like they maybe they made a mistake or maybe they're not going to get a good return on their investment?
So, my opinion may come off as offensive, but my opinion is if you're into it for an investment in 3, 4 years, you already want to get out. That's not necessarily an investment, man.
No.
This is more of like a 401k, right?
Yeah.
You got to invest for 10, 15, 20 years down the road. You're not looking at buying that 20, $30,000 animal and seeing a huge return in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years even. I've had snakes where I've tried to breed them for 6, 7 years and had no success. So I look at it as more of a retirement plan rather than a get rich quick. And I
Yeah.
think that's where maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I'm sensing there is that people get into it and think, oh my gosh, um, I'm online or social media and everybody's popping out all of these clutches. I go on Morph Market and everything's for sale, and so has 30 some snakes in there, and the highest one's $40,000. He's got to be filthy rich. Eh,
Yeah, probably not.
maybe not.
They're probably not doing quite as well as you think they're doing.
Yeah. So I think some of that comes from like everybody wants instantaneous success
Yeah.
or instantaneous gratification in some shape, way, or form, right? That's the way the world is today. I mean, I can go post something on Facebook, and if I don't get 5 likes before I go to bed tonight, I'm gonna be upset, right? I bought this snake and I invested 30,000, 40,000, 10,000, 2,000, whatever it is. You got to have patience in this industry, man, or hobby, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
Line of
yeah.
work. And I think that's what you're seeing, in my opinion, is you see a lot of people are like, "Where's my money? Where's my money? I already invested. Where's my money?" And it comes, man. You just got to keep going. You got to keep looking towards the future. Put your head down and put in the work, man.
Well, and I think the other thing is when they buy something at a little higher price and then they see that same animal that gets produced 2 years later and it's 50% the cost. I think they also forget it's like, well, you also have an animal that's 2 years ahead.
Yeah.
So
Which is
maybe take that into consideration too. But, I think the people that have really tried to focus on adding the localities, I think those are the people that are really going to be doing okay. Because localities, dude, they're not really coming down in price. They are holding very well. And that's kind of what I tell everybody. It's like whether you want to get my localities or someone else's, like either way, I recommend you get at least 2 or 3 localities in there. And now that opens up all your breeding plans. So if you have 3 localities, now you just tripled your breeding plan potential.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
and your return.
Yeah.
You got 3 different. You got a Madu, Kalatoa, and a Ternate female.
Mm-hmm.
What can't you do?
Yeah, there's not much. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's not much. Yeah, and that's what I recommend. It's like at least have a couple pure SDs. And
Yeah.
even if they're, as long as they're pure SD, like they don't even need to be pure Kalatoa for, if you got a Kalatoa Madu cross and you're running it in the morphs, well, that's even better. You know what I mean? Because you got some.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
What about the TK? What are your thoughts on that?
What do you mean?
The TK Kalatoa.
Oh, I knew years ago that they weren't 100% on what that was. And
Yeah.
I thought it looked Madu personally. So, and that whole TK thing's my fault. And Glenn,
It's your fault.
yeah, Glenn's
Oh.
never told me this. Like this is a funny story. And if Glenn, the guy that wrote that retic book, somehow he's gonna do. He's not gonna care if I tell this story. So he gets a whole.
I'm okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll send him if he wants me to send my free copy of the book back, and I'll send it back. But I think
Free copy?
yeah, well, I helped him with a lot of info. Yeah, and his original plan wasn't to write a retic book. It was to write a super dwarfs history in the U.S. Reptile trade. And he calls me and he's like, "Hey, I got your number, and I saw some stuff." Because, once you get in a locality, sooner or later, regardless of how many fucking Facebook groups I'm banned from, you're going to find out about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
you should.
Yeah. So, and he goes, and I'm like, "Yeah, you don't want to do that." I was like, you do not want to write. He was going to be his thesis for school. And I'm like, you definitely don't want to do this for a grade. Trust me. And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Dude, there's the people just didn't keep track of shit." I was like, that's how I got into the whole finding my own stuff, getting my own shit, because, it was so hard to track down where stuff came from, and there was some stuff that got mislabeled, and my old bloodlines, I don't have paperwork on them. You know what I mean? Where the fuck was I going to get paperwork on that stuff?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I think there might be enough information, like the TK line. And I start laughing. He's like, what? I said, I remember the day those turned into Kalatoas. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, if you look hard enough, you will find the day. I said, I think it was 2012 or 13 or 4. I forget what year I said I thought it was. And he's like, there's no way. I'm like, listen, don't even tell people you talk to me about this, because you're just going to get in trouble for talking to me. I said, if you're going to write a book, I would go broad spectrum, and like 6 months later, he calls me. He's like, hey, you were right. I'm like, about what? Because I'd forgot. He's like, he goes, you were off a year. I said, about what? He goes, the day those turned into Kalatoas. And I just start laughing, and I'm like, and then Lucas and him were talking, and then that whole thing got put out, and I was like, man, I was like, just leave me out of this one. I get in enough trouble. I was like, this is all you guys, your research. I was busy that day. I didn't help.
Yeah.
I just kind of said it to Glenn, like laughing, like, yeah, I remember the day they turned into Kalatoas, and then it turned into that big fucking headache, and everybody was so mad. Unfortunately, Lucas took the brunt of that one. It wasn't me.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I'm surprised Lucas wasn't like, Rodney told me all this. It's his fault.
Yeah. FYI.
Yeah.
I got all my info from Rodney.
Yep. But I was like, they're still cool snakes. Like,
Oh yeah.
does it, and especially like the TK shit, if you're breeding it into a morph to make some nice looking stuff, like, does it matter that it came from the island a mile away from the island you thought it came? Like, if you're not breeding it into pures, and or if you're going to do TK to TK, like, well, you're still working with the pure, like the TK line. So I don't really see what the big deal is.
And here's the thing. So if it's a mix of Kalatoa and Madu, or Honey Island, or whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, if it's a mix of those two, correct me if I'm wrong, but Madu's smaller, right?
They say that, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it was supposed to be Kalatoa is the biggest, Madu, and then Karampa, and it's like, I mean, I don't like. Do we even have enough to do that test? You know what I mean? It's like, and if we're talking about 6 inches or 12 like, who cares?
Yeah.
As
Well,
long,
6 inches is a lot.
yeah, depending on what you're, yeah, depending where it's at. Yeah,
You're gonna cut that one, right?
yeah, no.
No, leave that in.
No. So, but you know what I mean, though. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's
a pure super dwarf, brother.
yeah, it's a pure super
Okay.
dwarf. Yeah, it's a pure super dwarf. So, like, I don't think. All right, I'm gonna try not to mention Garrett's name, but the only problem that I saw with that was that line got so hyped up.
Oh.
And then Lucas and Nathan dropped that episode. I was like, good luck, guys. Good luck.
Awesome.
Yeah. But, I mean, those snakes have been relatively good breeders, unlike a lot of super dwarfs. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I'll take a non-egg bound TK over an egg bound Kalatoa. You know what I mean?
Every day.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'll take, you gotta take the good with the bad. And, we don't have importation anymore. So you gotta work with what you have. And there's enough TK Kalatoas out there to work with stuff. And I think that's important that people.
Got one back here right now.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's probably one of my smallest females too.
Oh, really?
To be honest with you. Yeah, thing's amazing. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that old Madu female, I think Garrett had it for a little bit because I'd sold it to Andrew. She never got real big. I think she tapped out at like 7, maybe 8 feet. She was that old ass. That snake was like 1,000. That was
That's
that.
the one I bred there.
I think you probably bred her daughter.
I think I bred both of them. I think I
Or
bred her and her daughter, and
yeah.
I think she's the one that got egg bound.
Oh, really?
I think so, but man, I tell you what,
Yeah, I'm
you know,
surprised
not
she
to sound
had.
like a
Yeah,
dick, but I bred so many.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised she didn't hit snake menopause or something. That's like, I think I acquired that
Oh,
snake back in May, before 2010, definitely before two. So probably 2008.
2008 and
And she was an
wild
adult.
caught.
Yeah, she was an adult when I got her.
Oh hell, yeah, she could be 30, 40 years old.
She was probably 10 out the wild, you know what I mean? So at least, so yeah, so she was old.
Yeah,
But
she
she
could be.
made nice babies, man. Like,
Oh,
cause,
beautiful.
'cause I made pures with her, and then I made Calato Madu crosses, and I actually like those better. I thought they had better color.
It honestly, the cross is what does it for me, man.
Yeah,
That Madu Kalatoa, because what the Madu lacks, the Kalatoa has.
yeah.
Well,
Th-
actually, to be
They
honest,
they
what
really
the
comp.
Kalatoa lacks, the
Yeah,
Madu brings.
yeah. Those Modus tend to have a lot more color surrounding the black patterns on the side. It gives you a lot more. I call it information. It gives you a lot more information to work with
Exactly.
when you're going into breeding stuff. It gives you you get a much better potential to have color on the snake as long
And
as you
that's
have.
really what it's about, right?
Yeah,
Putting color on it, putting pattern on it.
yeah. So what do you think about the whole anery stuff that was going on a while back between is it an anery? Is it an anery? Is it not an anery? Is it is anery real? Because I made a I made a dickheaded video. What the fuck was it called? Uh, is anery even real or something like that? And I was just it was just like a clickbait title, but like I'd reached out to Eric and he'd sent me some pictures. He sent me some pictures of was it was a GC albino. He's like, dude, this snake isn't anery. It proved not to be anery. And he's like, I put that in the video. I'm like, dude, there is no way anybody in this planet would ever suspect that was not an anery,
Yeah.
you know, GC, albino, like a snow albino. And like, my opinion is that these Superdorf localities, they have limited color spectrum and they tend to fade a little bit with age. And I think that's where a lot of the misidentification with some of those aneries had came in. And I think it's justifiable, like a justifiable mistake. Like I don't think it's people trying to rip people off. Cause like Eric doesn't rip anybody off or lie about shit.
Yeah. He's not out there trying to deceive people or
No.
mess with people. Um, as far as the anery is concerned, what I would say is my experience is that one, you're 100% correct. I think some localities are so drab, lack of color, lack of
Yeah.
brightness, that it's hard to tell. And
Oh
I
yeah.
think sometimes people will think they have it, but really what they have is a drab snake that looks like it's going to be kind of anery.
Yeah.
The best way to tell, in my opinion, is a baby. The babies really pop.
Oh really?
That's what I've seen. You know, it's like, how do you put your pants on, right leg or left leg?
Yeah.
Everybody has a different way of doing it, right? In my opinion, as a baby, after that first shed, give it a couple of weeks, let it color up. That's when you can tell.
Yeah, I never hatched out an anery. I thought I did a bunch of times because
Really?
every wild caught super dwarf I ever had looked anery. Because
Yeah,
they're all coming in as adults and you know pretty
that's
washed
really
out.
hard. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think the only anery that ever proved out was that male Madu that I bred to the female Madu you guys, because I think it was the F1s or F2s that you guys bred that proved out that line of anery.
yeah,
And that was the only one that ever out of all the wild caught super doors ever had only one. Every single one looked anery and only one was.
right. See, and that's what I'm talking about. That's that drab look to it, which is why I like the tourney, because
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
those things pop.
Yeah. Next question, because we got that one was like little. We went pretty far there.
We went deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I like to go.
Okay. Hey, well, you're not just doing this just goofing around for fun. You're planning on breeding, selling. Uh, what's your business plan here? Are you just going to be mainly online? You hitting shows? You going to try to get into that international market eventually? What's the game plan for Rob Roush Reptiles or Retics or whatever the name's officially going to be?
Yeah, I have no idea what the name's going to be, and I don't know that it'll ever get to that.
Really?
Honestly, I don't have like a picture in my mind of what it looks like.
Hmm.
I know I know that I can breed retics. I know that I'm pretty good at it. I know that I can't go without a retic because I
Yeah.
tried for a year, it didn't work. um, but how big and how bad it gets, I can't say. Um, and I can't say because it's not necessarily what I want. It's not necessarily what the snakes are capable of or the market's capable of. It's a different feeling that I have. I want to do right by the snakes, not that people don't. But my focus is that if I have a happy, healthy snake, it'll breed for me.
Yeah.
And just because it can doesn't mean that I should. That's the next lesson that I've learned in life just recently. Just because I can doesn't mean I should.
Yeah.
So what it looks like for me in the near future or the not so far away is that I'm going to breed because that's what's in me. I'm going to sell them. I'm not going to give them to anybody to sell. I'm going to sell my own stuff. I'm not real big on the internet,
Yeah.
as people know. So I'll probably just put them through like a morph market and sell them that way. Uh, I need to be better at taking pictures of my stuff and putting it out there. I need to be better at taking pictures and just at least just putting them online and showing people, hey, look at this, look at that, see this,
That's just time consuming.
and it really is. It really is. And we moved down here and we bought our dream house and dream property, and I really enjoy working in the yard and doing things and that aspect of life. So I got to find that happy medium, right? And I just don't know where that's at yet.
Yeah, I haven't been good the last year or a couple years at putting out enough content like this.
Yeah.
This is actually the kind of stuff I really enjoy doing, like this stuff, like this podcast, because, well, one, it helps me because you get to see this other side of me that's not, because like people like I come
Wait,
off
finish that last sentence there.
I come off a
Hold on.
little bit different. Like my sarcasm and joking comes off as attacks, usually online, and it's like, because that's Brad always tells me, he's like, because there are people who are always telling him how much they fucking hate me. And he's like, you have to meet it. If you would talk to him in person or something like that, or even on the phone, you'd get a totally different perspective of him, of like when he's joking around or he's just fucking with you or goofing off. So I like doing this stuff, and I really like taking pictures and videos of the snakes, and that's what I'm going to be really focusing on, is really more towards, I have $20,000 or $30,000 worth of camera equipment. I might as well use it.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to switch. I have a little studio on one side of my house, that side that's like, well, you've seen it. And I'm switching it. I'm switching it into the other side of my house, so it's going to be like right there. I'm not walking past it. Just to get to the snake room. It's it's and ignoring it. So I'm gonna work more with trying to be online, either with podcasts or putting out videos or posting pictures and that kind of stuff. And I'm really, as down and out as I see a lot of people are with the retics and stuff right now, or just the reptile industry in general. I mean, you guys aren't feeling it at Canova. He's kicking the shit out of everybody. It's it's like Christmas every day there, I'm sure, compared to the rest of us. But I'm really excited about the fact that these ternates, and to some extent the fills, it's some of these patterns and colors are reproducible, and they're not reproducible like a morph, but you're still able to hit it. And when you hit it, you really hit it.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I've been to your place. I've seen the stuff you have.
You know, and that excites me. You know, that's like, okay, well, I can make thicker black, or I can add more red, or I can add more yellow, or you know what I mean? And that's where I can, you know, even aberrant back patterns. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's really exciting to me.
Oh, yeah, because you look at it like this. Stop me if I'm wrong, but it, you said red. You can
Yeah.
add red, and you add as much red as you can. You get that snake as red as it can possibly be,
Mhm.
pure locality, no morph.
Yeah.
And then you throw Anery in there,
Yeah.
and it sucks it all out. What does it look like? Right? Does it look like Calto? Or Sunfire. You throw a Sunfire in there. Now that red is a slight orange.
Yeah.
Platinum, and then now it's like a pinkish. I mean, there's so many things to do with that.
Well,
But I don't think a lot of people understand that that's what the locality is there for.
Yeah.
Is to add those flavors.
yeah, it's a lot of people look at these smaller localities as downsizing, and I look at them as, one, I really like locality, so I, you know, have my pure shit, but I also look at it as like they're a tool to improve what we like, to improve morphs, and you know, and really looking at it in that perspective, which I don't think a lot of retic breeders are doing. You know, and I know it comes off as a sales pitch, being like, dude, you need Ternates, Fills, and Halmas. And they're like, no, I don't like you. And I'm like, that's fine. But if you want to have better looking snakes, you might want to get those three. Buy them from somebody else.
I don't want anybody to start liking you just yet.
Yeah. you want to try to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, I need to get caught up.
Yeah.
Get in that race.
Yeah.
And then they can start liking you.
Yeah, but no, like, I don't know. You saw the Philippine Sun Tigers, didn't you? They were like those pinkish tangerine. Dude, that Mindanao blood totally changed the color of the sun tiger. I've never seen a sun tiger with that color. Ever.
No. And you know, you never will again.
No, and I mean it's the Ternate Sun Tigers. I only made two. This is a small clutch like a year or two ago. But they were yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were
I
yeah,
remember that one.
they were a completely different color too, but they were a totally different color than the Mindanao Sun Tigers. And and the inky black on them, man, it's like some of those look like it was like airbrushed on. You know, and that's what, you know, like a lot of people are like, oh, you made a Sun Tiger. It's like, well, yeah, I did, but I made a really, really nice Sun Tiger.
One of the nice Sun Tigers you ever see.
Yeah, and it changed the color completely, and chances are they're going to hold color better, and plus they're het Indo, so you have that whole option too, you know. So, and that's
what happens if you combine those two? You take that Sun Tiger to that Sun. Now you have all of that locality influence with that one or two simple genes, right?
Yeah, and that's what I keep telling Shane, dude. I've told Shane so many times. I'm like, dude, get a Halma, or get a Ternator, get a Phil, and it's like, you know, because he's already put all that work into his Purple Sun stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
I know it'll be a long ass 3 to 5 year project, but you can take that shit up a few notches pretty substantially with just a little bit of locality blood, you know. And it's Lucas actually did I think he got it off Eric. It was a purple OGS something, so I don't know, it was whatever, Sun something Tiger something. He just bred that. They got I think a clutch he bred that to Solaire and has a clutch coming.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah,
I'd like to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's still its infancy, man. You know this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and that's the thing that bothers me about everyone being so like down and out lately about the retic market. I'm like, come to my fucking house, like, dude, come see some of these patterns.
Yeah.
And I'm just now starting to really understand how to manipulate it. You know, and it's like, so give me a few more generations, and we're gonna have stuff that, like, we didn't even know it was possible to make it look that way.
You're gonna be like, that's a retic?
Yeah, like, yeah, because like in the beginning of producing Ternates, people kept asking me, well, what morph is that? What morph? Like, no,
Sunfire? Is that
yeah,
platinum?
Yeah, man, and I got these three wild caughts. You saw those those crazy ones I was calling the Apocalypto line.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm working more on those, and
Good.
then I'm working
Beat
on
that breeding.
well, I have I have so many. I have I'm doing the same bloodlines, but I'm not doing the same breeding that made them. I'm switching a couple things around to try to get it's male 5. He's got a little silver. He's got some really clean silver and a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to take that to a different female to try to it's going to be the same 3 bloodlines, but
Yeah.
I'm going to add a little more higher percentage of wild caught male 5 to try to get a little bit more pop out of them. Not,
Okay.
I mean, they already look great as it is, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, if I can push it forward, I'm going to push it forward. That's
That's what we're here for, man.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I'm working on a tribal ternate clutch with Andrew this year.
Ooh,
So
okay.
we might get to see what happens when Ternate and Philippine get put. I don't even give a shit about the tribals. I just want to see the
No.
normals. Yeah, I mean I like the tribals, but I'm really excited to see what 50-50 Phil Ternate look like because I have a feeling those are going to be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anybody could look at a Ternate, look at a Phil, and go, eh.
Yeah,
You have to put those two together. And when
yeah,
you do, the Keller that's going to bring in is going to be amazing.
yeah.
And that's what people don't, I say people don't understand, but maybe it's realize, um, is that if you take that simple morph of like Motley,
Hmm.
and everybody knows what a Motley looks like, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice gene, but it's kind of, I don't know, greenish, grayish, blackish with a pattern,
Yeah, there's
right?
not a ton going on.
No, not a lot going on. And not very sought after, in my opinion. You either like Motley or you don't like
Yeah,
Motley,
dude, there is a weird
right?
divide on that snake. It's like you
Yeah.
either like a Motley or you don't like a Motley. That
And
is
I
strange.
think if you throw that Ternate blood in there, maybe a little Indo blood or not Indo, Phil blood in there,
Yeah.
or something like that, that's going to bring more Keller to that snake. Everybody loves fucking Motley now.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping the only pairing I've done so far this year, because I'm not really trying to breed a whole lot this season, was
Yeah.
the Ternate Motley Tiger to an F1 Ternate. So I'm hoping, and he's really pretty, but I'm trying to put the Ternate I'm using has a pattern structure that I'm hoping is actually going to throw almost like a classic Tiger
Ooh.
on.
Without time.
Yeah, like a classic Tiger look. Because I really like the Motleys that when you look at them, you could tell if they didn't have Motley, they'd be a classic Tiger that kind of have like that broken up backpack. I really like that look because they usually also have a lot of black ticking and spots on the side. And I
Yeah.
really like that look. So I'm really shooting for that with the 75% Ternate Motley Tigers.
Ooh.
So, yeah,
I'm looking forward to that too. I want to see
yes,
those.
yeah. So that's one thing that I'm hoping for this season, but we'll wait and see. I think she's in her prelay right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It won't be long.
No, it won't be long. And then Andrew's got that clutch of Ternate head ocelots coming.
Oh, that's gonna be nice too.
It's hopefully it's a good clutch because it should be getting dropped this week. Which I was like, you need to tell people about that. He hates social media more than you do. I was like, whatever, I'll tell people about it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
start screaming it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm really excited for that, man. I'm really, and this is just the thing. It's like when you start getting into these localities and stuff, and you start thinking about all your options. It's like, dude, there's a lot more options than people realize. Like, was it Chris Hoke or Hokey? I always forget. I think it's Hoke.
I
He
think
did that. He did that Superdorf Tambalongans. He did those. So it's neat to see people being like, okay, let's cross some shit. Let's
get it
see,
going.
yeah, let's see what we got. And Lucas hatched out the Solaire Superdorf crosses, too. And it's like, it's they're worth doing. you know?
there is still morphs to put into that dwarf super dwarf realm, right?
Yeah.
But if we can add 10 times the color and 10 times the brightness or 10 times the inky black lines
Mhm.
with locality and then get those morphs.
Yeah.
I think that's the real thing because, like I just explained with that Motley, there's certain morphs that they pop, but oh man, if they could just pop a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Get a little more color, a little more pattern, just a little it's that contrast, man, and that's like, it's like you gotta have some conflicting colors. You get a couple, you
Yeah,
get some brights, you get some darks, and now you have you got a totally different snake. Even though
yeah.
it's genetically quote unquote the same, you have a different you have a totally different looking animal.
Like
And
you said earlier about like you brought his name up, so I'll use it again. Shane.
yeah,
Shane's known for his sunfires.
yeah.
Makes the most incredible sunfires there are out there. But now with the locality, you throw that locality in there, and the sunfire's even better.
Hmm.
Like, man, that's where I want to live.
He's gonna have a hard time keeping up with what I'm doing with Sunfire. I can tell you that. No offense to Shane,
Oh,
no offense, but like I mean, when we're talking just straight Sunfire,
yeah.
he's like I'm just gonna have to send him something. Be like, here, just breed this to something.
Well, send it to me first.
Yeah,
We'll
then you can
figure it
produce
out.
some and sell him something. But
Yeah,
no, I mean, and that's why, like, I think that's, Lucas saw a really good opportunity with his Solaire to use one of Shane's animals and been like, well, if these are considered the best, I'm going to make them better.
yeah,
You,
yeah.
and dude, and I've been preaching that shit for years now. I've been like, we have a limited supply, and the only thing you can do to set yourself apart is make it look better.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe how much ground I've gained with marble.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's been like, well, you can really make some crazy ass looking marbles if you add, and you don't need another morph, you just need the right traits.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know.
think it was um Sean. He'll be pissed when he sees this.
Yeah.
He stumbled on my name,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Yeah. Sean was showing me. Was it Sean that was showing me the marble? Or no, it was that Phantom.
All
What was
those
that?
all those crazy ass Philippine Phantoms.
Yeah. I told him, I
I've
said, that's the
never
best thing
seen
I've ever seen.
never
Yeah.
seen. And he brought back the ugly one because I gave him a couple. Because when I gave him two, I was like, dude. He's like, which one's going to be better? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, these are hands down like two of the nicest Phantoms out of the egg I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, the one's nicer. He's like, I'll bring back the other one. He brings back the other one. I'm like, the other one's nicer than this. This is the nicest Phantom I've ever seen in my life, color wise. Because
Right.
everyone thinks it's a platinum. Everyone that looks at that snake thinks it, and I'm like, well, Jesus Christ, Sean, how nice is the one you kept?
Oh,
You know,
next level, man.
is it?
Next level. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, well, those snakes also have Jamp, Madu, and Kalatoa.
See, and that's it. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you throw a little bit of this, a little bit of that, oh, it makes it so much better.
Yeah,
So much better.
yeah, they're 12.5. Well, it's 50% Mindanao, and then they're 12.5 Jamp, 12.5 Madu, and then 6.25 Kalatoa.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of Kalatoa because Kalatoa's not bringing that color, but Kalatoa's going to bring
Yeah,
some size.
yeah, but they
Right.
have enough color. You could take one of those and run them to a straight SD, and now you're smoking every SD Phantom ever made, and
Yeah.
you're not. It's not like those fills get gigantic, so
Yeah,
you're not. Yeah, you're not really adding much size, but you're getting such a better, and I'd much rather have a 12-foot snake that looks good than a 10-foot snake that doesn't look good. I'd like, what the fuck? Who cares? 2 feet.
2 feet doesn't bother me, man.
Yeah, who cares?
Either
It's 2
way.
feet. Yeah, so,
And
that's
once they're at that like 10 foot, I mean, we've had snakes, we've had big snakes for quite some time,
yeah,
right? Uh, the difference between a 10 footer and a 16 footer.
yeah.
I don't see a difference.
Yeah, there's a
I
little
mean,
bit
food
food
wise,
wise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Food and caging and how much
yeah,
energy it takes to move it.
the obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like, I'll take a couple extra feet for something that looks good,
Yeah,
especially if it's genetically outcrossed. Like that's not even a question. If you
yeah,
tell me this is 9 foot and it's inbred, but this is 12 foot and it's insanely outcrossed, like, I'm taking that 12 footer all day.
every time.
Yeah.
Unless I'm a collector,
Yeah.
then it's more of does it look better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we're breeders. As a breeder's perspective on that, every single time.
Oh yeah. 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 You got to go with what looks good for
Yeah,
sure. Because if you don't, man, you're gonna get yourself into a mess. You got-
4 or 5 years down the road, or
yeah.
even further, you're gonna be like, "What was I doing?"
Yeah, you got a brown snake and everybody else's are glowing, fluorescent.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It might be the size of a corn snake, but it looks like a worm.
Yeah, got the color pattern of an earthworm. Um,
Yeah, congratulations, man.
so I guess the next question is, what are your breeding plans?
Oh, so that's a great question. Um, Being down here, it's different, man. I think I was on the phone with you earlier this week or late last week, and I said it was 80 degrees. The
Yeah.
other,
Yeah,
it's November.
you got them PA retics. They're used to a little bit colder than that.
Yeah, so I've been doing some palpating. I'm going through the motions, doing what I normally do. Had a lot of success up north with it. Down here, I think the notebook's out the window, and I got to start from scratch and try to figure it out.
You think they're just gonna have to acclimate for a year?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get anything this year. I would love to be able to tell you differently, but I don't see it.
Well, you might. I mean, dude, it's been so warm up here that I hardly anything wants to breed yet.
Yeah,
Because up here they just, dude, you know how it is. They just like a 5-year-old could breed retics in Pennsylvania. It's so easy to breed retics up here.
yeah. Now every 5-year-old that wants to get into retics is going to be
You will
calling.
do it. I'll sell you snakes.
Yeah,
I'll sell them to you.
I was thinking you'd show them how to do it. You're like,
Yeah.
nah, I'll sell you this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Um,
plenty of videos online that can watch on how to breed them.
yeah,
But no, I just, dude, it's, people ask me a lot of times, like, oh, how do you breed retics? What do you do? I was like, I don't do anything. I do nothing to breed my snakes.
that's difficult though because yours are well established.
Yeah.
They never lived anywhere else,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, besides the wild caught stuff and a handful of other things, everything was pretty much born here.
Yeah,
Like all my F1 shit. So it's like, I do have that luxury of having a group of animals that are well established wild caught or they were produced here. So, but yeah, man, as soon as those temperatures dip, they just do their thing here. And that's what I tell people. It's like, man, I don't do nothing. Well, when do you breed? It's like, well, when I'm cleaning and I see a female's blown up with follicles, I throw a male in. Like that's how I know when a breed is. Like I'm cleaning a cage. I'm like, oh, she's ready.
here it is.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just telling Sean about that. I said because he was talking about that. Is it the purple or the purple snow?
I think it's a purple snow.
He was like, I was on the phone with Rodney, and he was like, throw a male in, throw a male in. I told him, I said, man, when you go home, take pictures, document stuff, take notes, get her out, feel her, touch her, get a good idea of what that is, because that's exactly what you want to see in every one of your
Yeah.
females. And when you see it, you know it. It's just like you're saying. You're just sitting there cleaning. And you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
he's ready.
And then you don't have to piss around throwing males in, and then they're
Ugh.
fighting because the female's not ready to breed, or and blowing shit everywhere. You're not dealing with all those headaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just so much easier. Like, once you see that female that's like really ready,
Yeah.
it's you can't you know it, and once you see it, you're good to go because that's all you got to look for.
That's what he says. The one time I went over to his house, I think it was 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and I was looking around and I was like, hey, man, throw a male in with that female. She's ready. And he was like, what? I was like, throw the mail in.
Yeah.
As soon as he threw it in, man, they locked within like a half hour, an hour, or something like that. He
Yeah.
was all excited. He's like, "Oh my gosh, how'd you do that?" And I was like, "Well, the more you see it, the more you know it."
Oh yeah, because it's a different swelling.
Oh, totally. It's not a food. It's not a
Yeah.
whatever. It's she's ready.
Yeah, dude, and people are crazy. Like a lot of people don't even wait for swelling. Like they're just like putting stuff together, and I'm like, man, I don't got time for that.
Yeah, that's where I'll be.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like once shit dips down a little bit, you might get a few females to roll.
I'm thinking my season might just be like a couple of months later, or at
Yeah.
least that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
But
But
you
even
know,
if you're not breeding this year, like what is the game plan for production? Like, because my plan's simple. It's like I'm going to produce some pure localities, and I got a handful of morphs that I'm going to keep trying to improve by adding more locality blood. So it's like that's all I'm doing.
yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm hoping I have friends that produce a lot of clutches, and they're like, "Hey, man, can you help us sell these?" No, I'm serious. But at any rate, I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna try to do some breedings.
Hmm.
The couple of breedings that I want to do is I want to run some ternates into some. I have those. You imported the parents, and then did you breed them, and then sold a pair to Chris and Tanya,
Yeah, they got F1s.
and then they bred them, and
They got
I have two
yeah.
of those females.
Okay, you got some F2s from that line.
Yeah. That's what actually last year with my snakes up at Reach Out, Garrett was kind enough that we did a breeding together where he bred his Reach Dreams male to one of those females.
Yeah,
Those are
that's a really good breeding.
I was super excited about that. And I've been letting a couple of those go a little bit here and there just because I can't keep them all, and
Yeah.
why not? But what I'm really excited about is when I moved my snakes down here, and you know this, but for everybody else who doesn't, I come up to your place and kind of we went
Went
through,
shopping.
did a little shopping,
Yeah.
my kind of shopping, right?
Yeah.
Love that. So I got that ternate from you, and I want to try to run him to those two F2s.
Dude, those ternate, this Super Malukus, man, those are nice animals.
I know, I got a pair.
Those are really neat. They turned out better than I thought they would. I thought they'd be nice, but I think your phone died, Rob. Or is
Yeah,
this
I'm back.
okay? Screen just shut off.
It is dying. Yeah, I was at 40% when we started.
Well, hell, we're at an hour, almost an hour and a half, or over an hour, anyways.
This is going to have to be a normal thing, man, because I'm
Yeah.
loving it. I can sit here and talk to you about this stuff all day, every day.
Yeah, but those Super Malukus, they came out nicer than I thought they would, and and I also thought like not only from a breeding aspect, but I thought those would make good pets too.
Oh,
Like people that
yeah.
just wants a slightly smaller retic, but wants a little extra color, a little extra pattern.
So it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. The
Absolutely.
super crazy ones sold right away for a lot of money. Like the
Oh, yeah.
super aberrant ones, like they didn't hit the website. They didn't hit, they were like
Yeah.
some people knew about them and they're like, what crazy stuff you got, and they were gone almost immediately.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what happens when you hit that like perfect. They fly off the shelf.
Yeah.
Can't keep them on there, and you don't even have to tell a lot of people. You tell one or two people, and boom, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested. I'd be surprised if Garrett sells any of those that he got from that clutch you guys did. Those super Kalatoa.
Yeah.
That's a good breeding that he did up there, and I have a feeling that might go right into the breeding stock. I'll be real surprised if he lets those animals go.
Oh, well, he was the first person one of the first people I contacted when I decided I was going to let a few of mine go,
Yeah.
and thought, hey, if you're interested, man, here they are. And he passed. So,
Well, he's also got some.
yeah, he's got a few.
Yeah, he also has some. So.
I'll tell you, that was a crazy breeding because we ended up both getting 1.4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Wow, that's
What's
lucky.
the odds?
Yeah, that's real lucky.
Yeah, and scary because we both only have one male.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, they usually males usually do pretty good. They usually eat real.
Oh,
They usually. Do you ever notice that like hatchling retics, like males usually just do better. Like they eat quicker, they grow quicker. They usually
yeah,
do better than females. Females usually you don't have too many issues with males. It's usually if anything's going to give you an issue from a hatchling, it's going to be a baby.
yeah. The females definitely. There's a lot of males that I've raised up over the years that I really wish they were females.
Yeah.
Just make life easier.
Oh yeah. What morphs are you going to be focusing on?
Not a lot.
Really?
Not a lot. Um, I really am inspired by what you've been doing, and I can see that being a huge thing. I did pick up I picked up a mainland um, from a buddy of mine, Don Munson, and it's a
He's a big fan of me.
oh, he absolutely loves you. It's nothing but by the way, he says hi.
Yes, yeah, I'm expecting the Christmas card soon.
Yeah, yeah. Hold your breath. That was his words, not mine.
Yeah, hold it for a very long time.
Yeah, until you get the card.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
But
seriously,
he always
he
has nice stuff, man. He always has. Yeah, he always does have nice stuff.
he's got some amazing animals, and a great guy too. If I do say so myself,
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed being friends with him. Me and him have had some talks like me and you have had,
Yeah.
where we could sit there and talk all day, all night. But I picked up a snake from him. Oh, I don't know the name of it as well as I should, and it's because of the election, which I know sounds crazy, but is it called a Kamala? It's the Bacan.
Oh, I forget what the hell they call those. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
like
yeah,
KALA.
yeah. They have it's some yeah, because it's what that Bacan ended up being compatible with like OGS or something, right?
Yeah,
Is that what it? Yeah, okay.
yeah. I think it's compatible with the OGS as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what that makes though. If I'm being
It,
100%.
it probably makes what you got, but yeah, if you don't have a Bacan and you don't have a Emeraldo, it was probably he probably bred a Bacan to an OGS. I don't know if it's compatible with
Well, he said it
Phantom.
was a Phantom.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
Phantom. Yeah, because I
yeah,
think it was compatible with Phantom too. But I'm not. I'm honestly not up on that.
yeah. I'm just in the beginning of it.
Yeah,
I really
I
liked
saw
it.
the Bacans and I thought they were neat, and I'm like, and I'm looking at it, I'm like,
Looked like a
man,
Phantom.
yeah, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I just didn't get into them because I couldn't I was like, how could I utilize this? And I haven't figured out how I'd be able to utilize it, so I just I never jumped on it, you
Oh,
know.
I jumped full force. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, give me that because it's the Bacan and the Phantom act like a cow.
Okay.
Slightly different. So it's an all white snake with blue eyes, and now he's about a year, so he's starting to get a yellow strip down his back.
Yeah, get some yellow or something. I
Yeah, and then
remember.
they get spots, but not as much as like the cows do. And
Okay.
then there's also sometimes they'll get is it two or three lines going down their spine.
Hmm.
And they just look different. So I was as soon as I seen it, I was like, "Oh, I'm sold, 100%, man." Nobody has pecan in Superdorf, and
Yeah, like that was the thing I was going to say. It's like if I was heavy into super dwarfs, I would have got it.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But I'm looking at my turn eights and stuff. I'm like, man, that's. I was like, I just don't think I'll be able to do a whole lot with my projects with that gene. So I was like, man, if I had a bunch of super dwarfs, I would have definitely, got into it for the super dwarfs. So
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I, and who knows? If I throw one of those, what you're calling them, the super Molucans,
yeah,
throw that into there and bring all that Keller from the
yeah,
turn and the size from the Superdorf. I mean, who knows what the heck that's going to do, man? That I'd have clutches of phantoms. Well, and then he's het albino, het purple, and pos het ocelot.
oh Jesus
So
Christ,
that could be a really nice breed.
yeah,
That's what I'm working on.
yeah. Are you planning on getting into much of the ocelot stuff, or are you gonna hang out until maybe some other shit pops up?
Uh, I would say I'm going to hang out.
Yeah,
Between those two, even though I do have something that is pos het,
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned. I know a couple of guys that are hopefully going to have pretty good luck this year.
Hmm.
When my last year at Reach Out Reptiles breeding, we had a het and we tried to breed it to 4 different females, and none of them went. So that was fun.
Dude, I was always confused why Garrett never just bit the bullet and got an ocelot. Like I could never. There's a lot of things I don't understand about Garrett, but the top of the top of the list is I was always amazed that he wasn't just crushing everybody in Superdorf Ocelot projects. And I could never figure out that and Anthrax. Those were the
asking me what I would say, and I don't want to speak for Garrett.
No, but I mean, I know something tells me if it was up to you, you guys would have been crushing some Ocelot and Anthrax projects. But
there's some things I would have done.
Yeah, I was just always amazed that because I've been waiting for, I was like, because I made those Superdorf granite backs, which are fucking insane, and I was like, Garrett, please hatch out Superdorf Anthraxes so I can sell these hats. I was like, God damn it, Garrett. Yeah, like get those visuals on the ground so I can sell these hats, and because that's why those hats haven't been selling well, which I think is insane that there's been no interest in Superdorf G-backs. I'm like, you are crazy. And the second somebody makes the visual, everyone's gonna be like, Rodney, you still got those hats? I'm like, yeah, dickhead, you should have bought them last year.
Yeah. Well, they're double the price now, man.
Yeah. Well, now that Garrett has SD Anthrax at 200K, these are 50K.
Yeah, I'll sell it for 50K, but you gotta buy it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a 2.2 for 75,000. Yeah, won't give you a deal.
2.1.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I was so hoping, like I know a lot of people think I don't cheer on Garrett at all, but there's some instances where I do, and I was like, I was, and that's one of them. Like, Garrett, would you make some goddamn Superdorf Anthraxes already so I can do what I want to do? Just ride them fucking coattails, Garrett. Let me jump on.
I need my shit to sell, brother.
But I mean, that's just how it is. It's like until you get the visual, it's hard to sell the het project because they're like, man, it's going to be 3 years, and they don't know what they're going to get. Well, I can tell you what you're going to get. You're going to get a really high silver Anthrax that's going to look amazing. That's what a Superdorf Anthrax is going to be, especially if you use Kalatoa or Karampa. So like we already know what it's going to be. So
or Madu would add some silver to that too.
Yeah, it might add some greens and stuff too. So you might get a little wider range there.
I might throw it off.
Yeah, like that. Like normally I want tons of color, but I think a Superdorf Anthrax is that one situation where I'd want limited color. I'd want that high silver, thin black pattern snake, super clean. That's one of the few times I'm like, no, let's not add a ton of color.
And let's put Anery into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? I was talking to you, or was I talking to Sean or Andrew? I forget. I don't know, because you have these conversations about snakes with people, and it's like, who the fuck was I talking to? I'm amazed that people haven't went hard on a Ocelot Rennet Ghost project.
Ooh, yes.
Because like think about.
I'm surprised Rennet Ghost isn't as big and bad as what it should be right now.
Yeah, because I got that one. I got that Pos Het Anthrax down at Sean's. I forget what the hell he's doing with that. I don't know. And
he's breeding a het to it, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, because he likes it, and there was a three-way trade with Lucas, and I ended up with it, and but yeah, he was interested. And when I'd never seen one in person because I never paid attention to him, and I was like, this is actually pretty nice animal. And I was like, a Rennet Ghost Superdorf is going to be amazing, and a Rennet Ghost Superdorf Anthrax, which I think is kind of Sean's plan, is also going to be really amazing.
Really.
You know, I tell Sean all the time, like, dude, you gotta start posting stuff. He has that one Kalatoa. Yeah, he's got that one Kalatoa from my line. It has to be one of the nicest Superdorfs I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, come on down.
Yeah, have you seen that one of his though? That one it has like the chaotic back pattern. It is really nice.
Chaotic back pattern. Ah, dude.
I'd text you a picture of it if I knew where I have a picture of it somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. But dude, and like that would be a perfect snake to get into like a Rennick Ghost Anthrax project.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
want dark, inky, silvery, boom.
Yeah, because I really like the GC or Genetic Stripe Rennick Ghost, I think is a really impressive animal.
Yes, I like it.
And
Yeah, big fan.
and that's why I think the Ocelot Rennick Ghost is gonna if somebody does it, I think it's really gonna surprise people.
You
Like,
think it's going to be better than the orange glow or the?
yeah, I think it'll fucking smoke them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's just, I think the silvers you're seeing on the Rennick Ghost, especially like with the genetic stripe and stuff, and how much silver you're seeing on the Ocelot, I think it's going to make this like, I think it's going to be a really neat snake.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
definitely going to get a good bit of silver in there.
Yeah.
Which I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Especially with the albino.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now I do want to try to take Ocelot the other direction in toward to adding color to get like a high orange, like Indo caramel version. That's what I'm working on. But I'd love to see somebody else, because I'm not doing the Rennick Ghost project. Also,
No.
You know what I mean? Like if
too many projects.
If nobody does it in like the next year or two, I'll do it. I'll make the hats. But I'm not. Somebody else needs to do that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Sean really wants to work with that Rennick Ghost.
Yeah, he's ruined the Rennick Ghost Anthraxes, and and I think that's a good project.
Oh yeah, and if he could throw a little fill in there,
Yeah.
a little turnate in there.
Yeah, he has a ton of fill stuff.
Oh, I know. Yeah, some beautiful fill stuff.
Ton of fill stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has that platy fill with Jamp Blood. I forget what he's going to do with that this season, because she should be ready. So, but
Bill Jamp, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Andrew did a Super Dwarf fill breeding again this season.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and those snakes, there was a lot of demand for those snakes, and he didn't have very many. So
No.
yeah, so he's redoing that, but he was really impressed with how they looked, and I never got to see one in person because he never brought them with him when he came to my house. But I saw the pictures of them; they were really nice.
But it'd take me a while because I got a couple of those fills here.
Yeah,
but I could raise them up.
Yeah. Well, I can always send you some. I never have a shortage of fills and ternates. Never. Dude, I think I have 14 breedable female ternates.
14?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Yeah. And that's like I said, we were talking earlier, man, like everyone's like Debbie fucking Downer, and I'm like, man, I got 14 fucking female ternates. I can make anything I want.
Dude, I'm ready to rock and roll.
And then I can make it look better after I make it.
Well, maybe I'll send you that. We're going to call it Kamala just for the sake of, I have no idea what to call it. Maybe I'll send that guy up to you, run to a couple of those ternates.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be an interesting breeding. If you want to take the project, I'll do the breeding for you, but
I might, yeah.
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 Because I really need to not take on any more projects. I'm hoping if I hit the odds this year, one of the few breedings I'm going to try to do, hopefully will produce Indo Anthrax Sun Tigers.
Oh.
I'm hoping.
That would be all mainland blood, or?
Yeah, unfortunately. But then it'll be going right to fuck into Ternate and Mindanao. you know, and then if anybody, whoever wants to do a Super Dwarf project with it, it'll be gone into that too. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm literally doing that breeding for me and people I like. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, because I tell you what, man, like, I was talking to Andrew about this the other day. It's like, once 75% SD morphs, are really available, like that's when I think the uptick's actually we're gonna see a new uptick. Like
Yeah.
you got to give it to Garrett, man. He's a marketing machine.
Oh yeah.
You know, but I think I think we'll see another wave of high interest once that 75 plus is kind of what everybody's producing.
More the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
once we get away from the 50s,
yeah,
get into the 75s.
but even with 50s, like say I hit on the 75% Motley Tiger, the 75% turn 8s.
Yeah.
So that's 75% outcross with some smaller blood. You can run that straight into a Super Dwarf.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you're at 50% Super Dwarf, 37.5% turn 8. You know, there's not much. There's not a whole. There's what 12.5 mainland blood left.
That's nothing.
Yeah, so you're already getting a small. You know what I mean? So I mean, even with that stuff, because a couple of the breedings I am going to try to do this year, I'm going to try to make Marble 75% turn 8 and Phantom 75% turn 8.
Yes.
And plus, and they'll also have some some Kalatoa and Madu and Kalatoa. Yeah, so they're also going to have those are going to be like almost 90% outcrossed. You know, at 75% turn 8 because of how much other bloods in them. You know, and then you take one of those and run them to a pure. You know now you got a 50% Super Dwarf, but you know, with it, well, it's going to be more than that because you got all the other Super Dwarf blood in there. So
yeah, you get that sprinkle from the other side.
Yeah. I just, dude, I think, and that's when I think you're going to start seeing some noticeably smaller adults.
It's inevitable, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the snakes are going to start getting smaller, and it just takes some time, man. And yeah. Besides. Yeah. Are you gonna stick with some basic morphs? Or are you gonna stick with like GC, Sun, Platy, Tiger?
Yes and no. I've never been a big fan of GC.
Me either, man.
Probably a bunch of people that are like, "Oh, you're kidding me," but I never have.
That's why I gave Sean mine.
Same here. I gave him a GC too. You have it.
Well, I gave him. It's what the hell is it? It's 50% turn 8. It's got Kalatoa in it, and it's Pawshead OGS.
Okay. I just gave him a mainland.
Yeah.
So there you go, brother.
Yeah. So I gave him that to work with, and I'm hoping because he's got the Phil Phantom coming up, so probably late this season, early next season, he has a chance to make like cows that are like got all kinds of different, you know, have like 4 or 5 different, you know, Dwarf and Super Dwarf bloodlines in it.
Blow you away.
Yeah.
Hey, what the heck?
What are you doing, Rob?
I'm at like 10% on the phone, man.
Okay. Well, whenever it dies, it dies.
All right. Do you want to do this again?
Yeah, whenever.
Yeah. Do you want to do it like twice a month, like we were talking about?
Yeah. We can do this twice a month. I'm going to try to get Jonathan on here. I want to start trying to put out a video a week. I really am, because I do like doing this. I do like talking, you know, having conversations with people.
Oh my God, I love it.
But yeah, I'd be more than happy to sit down and, you know, run through this, and, you know, maybe bring somebody on if somebody wants to come on and talk about some shit or ask
like
them.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Let's get Garrett.
Hey, me and him were cool there for a minute back in 2018. We were cool for a minute.
You let me schmooze him up.
That'll be the most watched Retic podcast in all time. Then we'll have Samson call in. We'll have Samson call in and ask questions. And then, me and Garrett answer.
And then all 4 of us can sit there and discuss how that all happened.
Yeah. Yeah, how fun would that be?
For 2 of us, it would be pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for 2 of us. Me and you, we would be having fun. I don't think Garrett and Samson would be having a lot of fun with that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if Joe's allowed.
Joe's allowed.
Joe would be a good one. I'd like to get Eric on. I'd like to have Eric come on, because he's got a lot of shit going on, and, you know, he's usually pretty quiet about it. You know,
Yeah.
so I'd you know, I'd like to see what Eric's plans are for the future, and you know, just where
I
he
was talking to Tinley, and he's excited.
is he.
He's definitely excited.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And that's what we need, man. We need people to I need people to get on here and talk about how excited they are and like how into, you know, how they think there's a future,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, because some of these
Yeah.
people are jumping on Morph Market and seeing 1,000 retics for sale. I mean, like, I won't be able to sell mine. It's like, well, see what's on there. Don't produce that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's use our heads.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. Yeah. What you see everyone doing, do the exact opposite,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Or do it, but do it just a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Or just make them smaller, make them prettier,
Yeah.
make them, but
It's
yeah.
not hard.
Yeah. So yeah, I just didn't know what all morphs you were planning on rolling with.
I mean, I do have a bunch of other stuff. Like I got Sun Platy that's Boss Head Annery that
Oh,
was my
okay.
girl, and I sold it to Sean, and now Sean let
Oh, that's
me
right. Yeah,
have.
you got that snake back. I forgot about that.
I got that. I do have an Annery Tiger that's probably one of the best freaking Annery Tigers I've ever seen. And when this girl fires up, dude, oh, I'll try to get a horrible, but I'll try to get a picture of her and send it to you at some point. But man, I tell you what, me and Garrett both were like, that is the best Annery Tiger I've ever seen.
And you just gonna run that back into pures or
Turn 8, brother.
oh, you're gonna put it
Turn
in
8.
turn it.
Heck yeah, man.
Well, I tell you what, man, you get enough. I'll tell you that's the one thing I have recommended is like if you're working with Annery, throw it into something that's you will not have to question. It'll either be Annery or well, because there's too much color. Like that male you got, doesn't he have a lot of red? He's got like that burn ass red color, and then it like floats
Yeah.
into some oranges and some
Like a
yellows.
dark orange.
Yeah.
Burnt red. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's who I'm going to use.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't that be awesome? An Annery Turn 8?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and there won't be any question
oh,
because
no.
it'll either be Annery or it's gonna have a ton of color.
Yeah. One of the two.
Yeah, yeah. So that's cool. So you're gonna definitely focus on some Anneries. You're not big into marble, are you?
I am, but it's got to be the right marble. Like
Yeah.
Joe Hall, speaking of Joe has the Sunfire marble.
Oh, it's that
probably
fill
the
blood.
best. What's that?
It's got fill blood in it, right?
I don't know 100%.
Is it that one? It's kind of clean, got that jagged back pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very old. It's only like a year or two old, right?
I would say 2 or 3.
Is that the one he got from that Tommy guy who passed away? Because I know he has a really nice marble sun with fill blood.
He did get a marble from. I think he did get a marble from Tommy, but he got a marble from somebody else or something. Oh man, I don't remember. But it's
Okay.
one of the nicest marbles I've ever seen.
Oh, really? Because I know that one he has is he's got a really pretty. It doesn't have like the crazy aberrance to it, but it has a really nice look to it. It's a really nice, clean looking
Is it
animal.
Sun?
Yeah, yeah, it's a
That's
sun.
probably the one that I'm thinking of
Yeah,
too.
and it's got that Philippine blood.
That's what's doing it, man.
Yeah, yeah. Rumor has it Joe likes his Philippine blood.
I've never come out and asked him like, "Do you like Philippine?" But I'm pretty sure I could say confidently he does.
Yeah,
Yeah, and who doesn't? When you look at that thing, and you know, you're holding it, you turn it up to the side, and you can see the side pattern, and it's just so much orange and flecks of silver and gray and black, and I mean, it's just amazing colors on those things.
yeah, and that black ticking on a lot of those fills gives you like an extra little piece of you know contrast when you put them into stuff. Like, and that's the nice thing about a lot of times when you put in with a marble, you get like all this extra marbling that's not even marbling. It's just black ticking. But you know, it just looks, you're like, oh wow, this is crazy marble. It's like, no, it's a nice marble with fill blood. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now that are you going to do anything with Halmas? I can't remember if we talked about this because you had all kinds of plans back in 2018.
I did.
And then me and Garrett had a bit of a disagreement that lasted like 6 years. And then
a little bit. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a small, barely even noticeable.
Yeah, but the crazy thing was when Garrett got those helmets, he's like, you were like excited or like I do all kinds of crazy shit, and I was like, cool. I don't have to start no Halma projects, and to this day, I've not done I've only done pures, and I
Yeah.
might try to make platinum turn 8 helmets this year.
Platinum turn 8 helmets. Okay.
Or no, platinum. Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be 50%. If I do, it'll be 50% Halma, 25 turn 8. Because I have this one that came out looking like a Sunfire, like a really dark Sunfire. It's like I'll have to next time you're here, I'll have to show it to you. And I was like,
Yeah.
man, that would be great with Sunfire or platinum. And I have a Platy turn 8 ready to go, so I'm probably going to do that.
I'd rather you do Super Sun.
Well, I can't do Super Sun yet. They'll look like yeah, they'll look like Super Suns because of that Halma blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
Well,
basically.
I think if you did a Halma Super Sun, you could call it the Super Saiyan. Is that what that Dragon Ball Z is?
I'm not sure, but no, they'll look. I did hatch out one Sunfire turn 8 this year that looks like a Super Sun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I hatched out a female that I didn't really show her to anybody.
I was
But
gonna
no,
say that when I was out there.
yeah, no, she got. I don't think I showed her to you. I don't think you saw her. She looks like a Super Sun, and she looks totally different than everything else in that clutch. And she just got a lot of that side banding genetics from the turn 8. And it just, the other ones are super nice, but she looks like a Super Sun. Like she could definitely pass as a Super Sun.
See, and that's the thing that we need to start putting out there. The two of us that are horrible at taking pictures and stuff
Yeah.
is putting that kind of stuff out there and showing everybody, like, hey, it's not over.
Yeah. No, it's not over. You can keep
It's
it.
nowhere near.
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
You can,
just the beginning.
you can keep improving.
Yeah. Yeah. Even without being able to import anything else in, the stuff that we have is enough that we can really make a difference in these morphs.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't need anything from the wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would like some stuff from the wild.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to be honest, I mean, for me to say, like, if I had a chance to get stuff out of the wild again, it would have to be pretty unique for me to say, okay, I'm going to set up another cage. I'm going to spend more time. I mean, it would, you know what I mean? It's not like, hey, you want a group of Sumatrans? No, I do not want a group of Sumatrans. Like, if it ain't from some island that I don't have snakes from, I'm probably not interested.
My number one would be I want a pair of wild caught Karampus.
Yeah.
Right from
Well, you
Karampa.
should have bought a pair when I was selling them for $1,500.
Yeah, that would have been the day.
Yeah.
Oh, if I could only go back.
Yeah. Ryan Parker bought a pair.
Ryan Parker. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the male died, and I think he sold the female to Sow or something. I don't know whatever happened to the female.
I think that it did go to Sal. Because I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know if Reach Out Reptiles ended up acquiring it or not, but that was one of the few Karampas I lost track of.
That's what I was thinking, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I really couldn't tell you for sure. Because I know we had 2 different males at one point. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, looking back, it's like, man, we should have got more stuff in. We should have
got more stuff in, kept track of it.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. I wish we could do differently, but
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, that is what sucks, man. It's like, I had, I think, 17 localities at one time. And yeah, and it was like, there was just no way I could, there was no way I could focus on 17 localities. I got 4 now. That's plenty.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That's plenty enough. Like, yeah, I mean, but like the one thing I do regret was hold on.
That's me.
No. One thing I do regret is the CRAMs. I wish I would have kept CRAMs.
Yeah.
CRAMs and Boutons.
Bhutan's a nice one too. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, because I had a Bhutan gravid to an albino sun tiger and she died while she was
Ooh.
gravid. And that was like 2013.
Yeah.
And that would have been a neat. Those would have been neat babies.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That could have kickstarted a whole nother avenue, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I'm trying I am trying to make Super Dwarf Sun Tiger head endos this season.
Superdor Sun Tiger head endo. Okay.
Yeah, Andrew. I talked to Andrew about it. And,
Visual?
yeah, well, head endo. So it'd be
oh.
yeah. So we are going to try, and me and Andrew talked about it. I'm like, dude, I don't like to use the word game changing a lot, but one of those turns every Super Dwarf Clark strain project into an Orange Glow project. You know what I mean? So like, even if you just have a male Sun Tiger head endo, like, you just opened up major doors for every Clark project you have. So
Yeah.
Hopefully the female goes this year. So, because I got a Super Tiger Indo Sunfire, so the entire clutch will be Tiger and half the clutch will be Suns. So
Yeah.
And then everything obviously head. So that'll be.
Ooh. That's a good breeding.
Yeah.
That's what we need more of, is good breedings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Not another 25 Jam 25 Kalatoa Platinum. You don't think we need any more of those, Rob?
I think I'm good, man. 25s, we're good.
Yeah. So, how much power you got left on that phone?
Oh, I'm down to 4.
Okay. Well, we'll go one more question.
Right.
If you are going to get into any other morphs, if you are going to start another project, what do you think it'll be?
Oh man, that's a great question. That we didn't mention tonight.
Yeah, like if you're gonna like say, okay, I can start a new project. Like if you were to go out today and be like, all right, I'm gonna start another project. Like what would it be?
I would go to Shane Costello
Mhm.
and I would try to purchase a Super Sunfire Purple Orange Ghost Stripe.
Okay.
And then I would buy an Anery.
Really?
I would just breed those two and
Really?
see what you get. Put all of that red in and then suck it right out.
Yeah, I wonder what that would look like.
It could look like an Anery. I don't know.
Has anybody made Anery titaniums?
Not to my knowledge.
See, I think those would probably look okay.
That would look good.
I like regular titaniums. Like, I don't think they get enough credit, because those are those things you have to see them in person, though. You know what I mean?
No two are the same either.
Yeah, you really got to see a titanium in person to appreciate it.
Yeah,
no Tiger, no Super Tiger.
I don't work with titanium because of that. No two are the same. They're all across the board. And it's hard to try to get that look that you're looking for when you just never know what's going to come out, right?
Yeah. Or
how it's going to come out.
Yeah, you do get a wide range on those, but they I mean, their iridescents are pretty nice, and I never started at a titanium project because of, they're harder to sell than an A-Mel.
A-Mel's damn near impossible.
Dude, and A-Mels are a cool snake.
They are pretty cool.
They are.
I've owned one.
Yeah, dude.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I had, surprisingly,
I bought them from you.
Oh, yeah, the A-Mel GCs.
Yeah.
Surprising, like A-Mel GC, an A-Mel GC fucking smokes a whiteface GC. Smokes a whiteface GC.
Hands down, the best of the two.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how nice those. I forgot I produced those.
Yeah,
that was a while ago.
I forgot I bought them from you.
Yeah, that was at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, but yeah, those were very nice snakes, and I was kind of hoping to see more A-Mel shit in Super Dwarfs, but I mean, it's just hard to beat those T positives. Man, those people want them T positives.
Ooh, yeah. Well, who was big in that A-Mel was Samson. Samson was big in the A-Mel.
I actually got out of that. I got out of A-Mels because of Samson.
Because he was in them?
Yeah, and I was like, because I'd been working with him for a very long time, and I was like, man, like if he can produce a shit pile of them, he's going to produce a shit pile of them. I was trying to produce them every other season, And I was like, he's gonna fucking flood the market with emails, and it's like I'm not gonna add to the problem, you know.
Yeah.
And that sucks because I really like producing emails. I really like producing those things.
I think that you'd have to have something different in there other than just straight up email right now to be able to sell it. But yeah,
Yeah, email GC, like a Superdorf email GC would sell.
yeah,
You know, somebody that wants a pretty pet, like that would be a good snake.
I think that's what you're saying, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like an email would be more of a pet quality rather than a breed quality, right?
Yeah, because I mean, dude, nobody wants to do those email projects.
No,
you know, you
no.
got white, you got white and yellow. That's all you got to work with.
That's it.
Yeah,
Where's your color palette? Right
yeah,
there.
yeah. But a lot of them are nice, and you know, it's just it is what
The
it
white's
is.
really white.
Yeah, the white's like
Yeah.
leucistic white.
Whiter than the white phase.
Oh yeah, way wider, way wider.
Yeah. That's like going to LED from a light bulb or a regular light bulb to an LED. It's like bam.
And I think that's why those AML GCs were so pretty. So, but yeah, we probably should wrap it up. Your phone's definitely going to shut off any second.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, let me know if you want when you want to do another one, and I'm gonna try to get some different people on. I'm gonna try to do a video a week, and it's this. Some people are afraid to do this because it's me.
Well, I think if you start hitting me up, and I don't want it to sound like I'm bringing this out of you or anything like that, but it's showing people that you're not a jerk. You do know you are a jerk.
Yeah, I was gonna say this might be some bad information.
So am I, though.
Yeah,
We both are. Hence the 20-some-year-long relationship.
yeah,
But if you show people that, like, one of the things I say about you is that you are very, very intelligent when it comes to the retics. And that's why I think that we get along so well, is because I can respect that. I can look past some of the stuff, the memes that you may have made of me.
those were good memes.
Those
were great memes, Rob.
I want more. But I obviously, I don't even see that kind of stuff as a negative. Even when that happened, I reached out to you indirectly or directly. I don't remember.
Yeah, you offered to send some goofy high school pictures to make memes with.
Exactly. Yeah. Make some good ones.
Yeah.
But I think the more people see that in you, the more that this will start to catch on, and the more that you'll get more people saying, hey, I do want to come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I can help in that, you know me, man, I'm in.
Yeah, because I really want to have more of a discussion. Because a lot of stuff you see on YouTube videos, it's more of a sales pitch. You know what I mean? And I kind of want to get away from that. I kind of just like let's just talk about what we're doing, talk about the stuff we enjoy, and talk about.
Like we would have a conversation. We would talk on the phone about this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and those are the kind of conversations I'm more interested in having, to be honest.
I'm all about it, man.
Yeah,
I'm all about it. If you want to do one without me and then come back and grab me, or if you want to grab me the next time you want to do one, whatever you want to do, just hit me up and let me know, and I'll see if I can fit you in.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I like that. This was fun.
yeah, but all right. Yeah, your phone's gonna shut off any second, so
we're on borrowed time, brother.
Yeah. Well, hey, yeah, send me a picture, because I do have to make a thumbnail for this. So I'm gonna. Yeah. The episode's gonna be called Rob Roush's Return to Retics.
Nice. I love it. I love it, brother. I love it. Yeah, I'll get a picture here right now. I'll probably have to charge the phone in a minute.
Yeah.
And then I'll pick and send it to you.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, man. Take care of yourself, all right?
Yep. Take it easy.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Later.